Our goal is to do things that no other law firm has ever done before.
Our technology brings the future to you today.
We're the next era in the way legal transactions are handled.
Hey guys, it's Danny Wood here. We're going live. We're going to be doing a special feature today. I've invited Stephen Jagger. I met him at the Ontario Real Estate Association. It's a 6-city tour on technology for real estate. And he has a really unique take on harnessing the power of artificial intelligence. And just to give you a little bit of context, about 2008 or 9, I found out about a product called, a technology that allowed you to add instant chat to your website. I heard about it at a conference. I went back to my hotel room. I spent 3 or 4 hours adding it to my website. By dinner that evening, I had 16 live conversations and 16 live leads with people that wanted to buy a home or sell a home. And I was blown away at the technology. And what I liked about it is that it allows the consumer to engage and ask questions without giving their contact information. And what it initiated was a conversation that ultimately we could script them and then get that information out of them. Now, the problem that I found with these instant chat tools is that a lot of agents, they have them on their website, but when a consumer uses it, it will then ping the agent on their phone, and the agent doesn't have the app on their phone, it's turned off or in sleep mode, and then they just don't reply, and it turns out to be a poor experience for the consumer. The other thing is that you can automate them to say things based on triggers. So if a person says something, you could have the automation automatically reply. The problem with it is that it wasn't intelligent enough to actually have a real conversation. It was just trigger-based. So there was a couple pitfalls with it. And then what I'm excited to have Stephen bring to our table today is he's going to be sharing with us his company and how it actually automatically does it. It's a true live robot that is on your website. It's artificial intelligence, and it's dedicated to helping real estate agents with converting more leads and closing more sales. So I'm going to pass the line over to Stephen. He's going to show us a quick little presentation. Then we're going to do a live demo. And anybody who's on this webinar or watching a recording of this webinar, they'll get the full free version. They just have to email Stephen, and we'll put all that up at the end. And it's free for now. I'm sure things could change in 3 years, 5 years. But anyways, just email Stephen. You'll get the details at the current day and time if you're watching this video at a later date. So do you want to take it away, Stephen, do a better intro?
Sure, that was a good intro.
Cool, man.
Hello, everyone. My name is Steve Jagger. I guess the first caveat is I am sitting in the airport, so I've picked a quiet corner. Hopefully it remains quiet. Danny and I are just leaving the Guelph conference for Emerge. So I've got the Guelph or the Emerge deck that I go through. I figured I'd run through it here quickly, and then we can jump in and show you how the product works. So a little bit of background on myself. I've had a handful of companies in my time as an entrepreneur. I basically became an entrepreneur right out of high school. I've had about 6 different companies that I've started with a business partner over those 17 years. The ones that kind of matter to this conversation would be start with UberTor. UberTor is a realtor website platform. We started that company in 2003. I actually sold it in 2013 to a Singapore group, but now it's a public company in Australia. But it basically is a website tool for realtors. Why that matters to you is that that's kind of what gave us our 10,000 hours in understanding what realtors need, what they're good at, what they're weaker at, how we can help, and just sort of getting a good handle on the real estate space in general from a sales and marketing point of view with realtors. So UberTor is kind of where I got a lot of my sort of background sorted out. The next company here is this one at the bottom called Outsourcing Things Done. In about 2008, I wanted to outsource customer service to the Philippines. 2008, we wanted to outsource our customer service for UberTor. Being, I guess, a little bit bold, we decided instead of finding a company in Southeast Asia or the Philippines specifically to outsource to, we decided to fly to the Philippines and get into the outsourcing business. And so myself and my business partner incorporated a company in the Philippines called Outsourcing Things Done, and we got into the leased labor business. the neat thing about this, again, what sort of makes it relevant to this conversation is UberTour was my first customer of my outsourcing company. So we had 10 or 15 guys working dedicated for UberTour, but we built out an office for about 150 staff in Manila, and about 100 of them were working for realtors. So we were providing outsourced offshore virtual assistants to individual residential realtors. So helping them run their sort of the back office, helping them document their systems and procedures, helping them work with a person that's not in their office, that's not in their time zone, that's not in their country. And so between those two experiences, we learned a heck of a lot about the real estate world and a lot of the systems and procedures that need to go into it. So fast forward a little bit further, there's a company here called Payroll Hero. I won't get into the whole thing of it, but we basically built that company out of a need in our Philippine company. We built a time attendance scheduling and payroll platform for the Philippines and Singapore. Again, why that's relevant is we started dabbling in AI or chatbots to make the HR process a little bit
I gotta interrupt.
easier.
My computer crashed.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, so I really kind of need to do the recording. You know what? Because people are on this line, maybe we'll just roll with it for them. And then if you don't mind, can you and I just do like a private one after? Is that
No problem.
not okay? Cool. So keep going, and we'll just do this live.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, cool.
I love technology. So so that's in Payroll Heroes, kind of where we got a bit of an understanding of how chatbots and AI can work. Generally, what we wanted to do is we have customers there. I still own Payroll Hero, and we had customers there that have 1,000 employees, and their HR team would get the same inquiries over and over again, and those inquiries were important to the employee asking the question, but not super relevant or not super important to the HR person because they're just getting asked the same question. For example, how much money can I spend on glasses this year? What's the benefit coverage? Or can I take Friday off? Or what's the dress code at the Christmas party? Or whatever. And so they're important employee questions, but very monotonous for the HR. And so that's where we got our first experience. And so I've been living, I'll skip a little bit ahead here. I've been living in Philippines, right there in that condo. It's kind of circled there for about 2.5 years with my wife and kids. And that's kind of, gave us the sort of the understanding of how emerging markets work, how the BPO or the outsourcing industry works. And so we had a lot of time over there. And then I did 1.5 years in Singapore, and have just recently, about a year ago now, moved back to Vancouver. And so when I moved back to Vancouver was when we decided that there was something here with this chatbot and AI space for realtors. So based on our experience that we've had with UberTour and these realtors in my past, we thought there was definitely an application for it. So before I jump forward to what our platform does, I'll give you guys a little bit of background on our on sort of the differences between chatbots and AI. So you can see it here. This is just a basic definition of a chatbot, but the main piece is a computer program designed to simulate conversation with human users. So it's not as smart as artificial intelligence, but
it mostly made us look stupid.
Yes, it can. It depends on, like, with a trained user, it can be efficient. Like if you're like for example, if you're an HR person and you know the specific triggers to ask a chatbot to do, and it does what you need it to do, it's very helpful. If you're like a new user or like a consumer dealing with it and you don't really know how to phrase things or how to ask, yeah, it's not super smart. The other side of it would be the AI side, right? And AI is making computers do things that require intelligence when done by humans. And so the combination of the two is kind of what where the world is going across a whole bunch of industries and a whole bunch of tools. The easiest ones to give you examples would be this first one here is Amazon's Alexa Dot. I don't know if anybody's got one of those in their house in Canada yet, but I've got one. They're more powerful definitely for Americans because they can do a lot of the Amazon ordering stuff that doesn't work yet in Canada. But you can basically speak to this thing, and we have one in my house, and you just say, Alexa, add milk to the shopping list, or you can ask her math questions, or you can ask her to run a timer for your cooking and your cooking of dinner. You can, my kids play a whole bunch of different games with her. You can, there's just like literally a million, like they call it skills that you can add to it, that enables you to speak to it. And you literally just speak out in the room and say, Alexa, do this. And the little thing responds to you. It's very cool. We started dabbling with it in our world, where we try to understand, like, how could it work within an open house. We haven't released anything like this yet, but we're definitely playing with it, trying to understand what would it be like if you had a handful of these pucks sitting in an open house, and you could say, Alexa, would a king size bed fit in the master bedroom? And she can respond accordingly because she knows the data or the details about the property. Definitely lots of applications that are definitely coming soon to a theater near you. The other three here would be Tesla, of course. Autonomous cars are coming. The Tesla's basically, from what Elon Musk says, it is autonomous now. He just has to back it off because of government regulation. And then, of course, Siri. Everybody's got Siri or the Android version of it in their pockets, and that's full artificial intelligence where you can speak to it and have it do tasks. Or the last one there is Nest, where it's the thermostat that goes in your house. And there's a million smart house products now that are learning about your day-to-day life, your habits, your routines, and the tool starts to get smarter and adjust itself around how you live. So maybe on a Saturday morning you do different things than you would on a Monday morning, and the thermostat can learn and understand that and adjust automatically. So there's kind of where you're seeing some of this sort of the AI space going. Where's it going generally in the future? Well, flying cars, I think we're going to get them at some point. The way that we were promised from the Jetsons. This top one here is something that the two Google founders are working on. There's also another example of it in Dubai, where they've got an autonomous helicopter that's battery powered with about nine blades. That's going to work like a taxi almost, where you can more like a bus, because it goes to a specific destination. You can get into this 2-seater thing. It's autonomous, and it'll take you to a predefined destination. It will take you wherever you want, but it'll go to certain stops. So they're currently flying it right now. No passengers in it yet, but it is up and running. And so, that stuff is coming. The autonomous cars are coming up. Almost every car company, including, companies that are not car companies like Uber and Lyft, working on the autonomous stuff. And then, of course, things like Hyperloop. And so this is all, coming, I think, very, very quickly. And why I think it matters to real estate agents. I'm from Vancouver, so it's easiest for me to speak about Vancouver. But I gave the example for Alexa there, the middle one, for how would that affect open houses, or what a self-driving car is going to do for the realtors that hopefully most of you don't, but some still do, drive people around neighborhoods and show them around. It doesn't seem like the best use of time. And the last one I think is very interesting is, like, what happens if there was a Hyperloop from, like, right now, if you live in Chilliwack or Abbotsford and you commute to downtown Vancouver, it's a long drive, it's a big commute. Pricing is cheaper out there for housing. But what happens if you did have some sort of Hyperloop like that, where it was a 3 or 5 minute or 7 minute trip to the downtown core? Like, how would that change real estate? How would that change where people live? The other one I think about a lot is the islands. All the islands in Vancouver on the Sunshine Coast and in the Gulf Islands, if they don't have ferry service, you either need a helicopter or a float plane or your own boat to get to them, which makes them sort of hard to deal with, kind of expensive to deal with. Even though the land's not super expensive, it's just kind of a pain to get there. What's it going to be like when we have these Uber type drone vehicles that'll be able to just move us around? Like, how will that change real estate, where maybe you won't live, an hour from the downtown core? You'd live on one of these little islands that are, 5-minute flight. They're just currently not accessible. And I think this stuff, it's going to come hard and fast. The next handful of years, we're going to see these things change. So we talk about right now, these are some stats. I'm not going to read them to you, but the moral of the story is consumers are getting more demanding. They want chat. They want to be able to deal with things with their thumbs and text message back and forth. They want it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They're very demanding. And so by not doing it, most businesses will lose, and the ones that do it will win. And so we talk about how real estate professionals can harness AI. Some examples. This is Google's image captioning system. Just shows two different versions of when a human captioned this photo. It's the guy, whoever wrote it, the person wrote a group of men playing Frisbee in the park. And when the computer did it, it said a group of young people playing a game of Frisbee. Both are accurate, both are correct. It's just one was done by the Google image captioning system.
Wow.
And so, and realtors, they should be, captioning their photos of, like, what is this? Is the kitchen? Is it the basement kitchen? Is it the upstairs kitchen? Is it the view? Is it the whatever? Most don't do it. And the ones that do, I think, do it, but it takes time and effort. And there's becoming tools to make this a lot easier. Another one is IBM's Watson, You can load a photo up and it'll tell you what it thinks it is. In this case, this cat photo was loaded up and it was a 94% chance it's a cat, 95% chance it's feline, carnivore mammal, and it's analyzing the image and then coming back as to what the computer thinks it is. And to kind of bring it home, I'll skip that one, I'll come back to it. I was speaking to a real estate board the other day. They were asking me, is there a way that we could suck in all the images from the MLS? In their MLS, you can't have a for sale sign on the main MLS photo. And I know the Toronto board is like that. There's a handful of boards, that's the rule. But their problem is they have no way to really do that or manage that except other realtors complaining that it's there, like kind of ratting them out. Or they do kind of try and self-police it with staff looking at these things, which is obviously nuts. And you can use, a handful of different tools, but you could use IBM's Watson system to train it what a for sale sign looks like, load up 10,000 photos, and it'll find the 63 that have for sale signs. Pay, less than a cent per image. And it can take care of business for certain tasks like that. Circling back, there's lots and lots you can do with IBM Watson. It's worth, if you guys are interested, go to their website and check it out. They've got a whole bunch of tools around documents where you can suck in a document. Watson can read it, learn, and understand it, and then you can build tools around querying it. And,
cool.
Yeah, and so like examples of that would be, wouldn't it be neat to load up 200 condo buildings strata meeting minutes for the last year or 2 years, and then start querying it to see like who's talking negatively about short-term rentals, who's talking negatively about Airbnb, and just maybe you can anticipate, or maybe you can find buildings that are investor friendly that are cool with short-term rentals based on, even though their rules say that they're okay with short-term rentals, but if they're talking about changing the rule in their strata minutes or their meeting minutes, maybe that's not a safe building or a safe bet for you if you require short-term rentals. So there's a million ways to do it. Like we would be dabbling with it as well, like taking in our HR side, if you work for a big company, the benefits package and just the HR package you get is a big, huge document. Most people don't read it. Nobody reads it. And when you do have a problem, you usually call HR and say, hey, the doctor told me to buy this drug, or I need to do this thing, or whatever. And the HR person will sort of interpret what the rules are. And I think it would be neat to have Watson understanding that data and then enabling an AI or a chatbot to be able to handle inquiries about these large documents. So it's something that's definitely coming. If we talk about sort of, this is a list I made of what real estate professionals have challenges with. This is my personal opinion. Happy to argue about it if you like, but this is what I think.
That's number one up at the top for sure.
Yeah, realtors responding to inquiries in a timely fashion. It's insane how slow, or sometimes you just never hear back if you're inquiring about their listing or when the open house is, or can you have a copy of the floor plan, or can you get in to see the property? It's either super, super late or you don't hear back from them at all. Realtors not obviously good. Nobody is dealing with more than one person at a time effectively when technically you shouldn't be. If you're signing up someone to list their house, you probably shouldn't be distracted by your phone answering some other person's questions about floor plans. Having all the information about the listing at any given time, having the exact numbers and figures ready, answering inquiries off hours. I can't tell you how often I see an agent complaining on Facebook that some consumer messaged them at 11 o'clock at night and they're complaining about it. The way I think about it is we're all entrepreneurs. There's no kind of, if you're off, turn your phone off. And if you're on, deal with it. And then, I just think it's something that there's ways to solve these issues now. Same with following up with inquiries. And so you can see obviously where I'm going with this. I made the next slide here is, what AI or chatbots is amazing at, and it's the exact same list.
We used to have to, for the chatbots we use, we would have it scheduled. So it would only be turned on and visible from the consumer's point of view when the agent was logged in. And if they logged out, it disappeared altogether.
Yeah.
So if the agent logged out at night, like they check out at 6 o'clock, go home, then it was gone. And then the agent didn't have to deal with anything, but they were missing out on leads, but at least the consumer wasn't getting a bad experience.
Totally. Yeah. And that's just the old days of live, like sort of live chat. And now with, integrations with chat bots, you can be 24/7.
Yeah.
So having a chat bot is, I think every industry is doing it literally across the board. They're coming into retail. It's coming into, banking. It's coming into, I can show you a few examples. Actually, maybe I'll do that. I'll show you a couple examples before we go into my product. But here's some examples here of AI doesn't get tired, doesn't get frustrated with repeat questions, it doesn't complain about 50 people asking the same thing of can I please see the floor plan. It doesn't care, it doesn't have an opinion, and so it's really perfect for for this type of application.
And they're scalable, so you get like 50 leads a day, or you get like thousands of leads a month. The bots can handle it.
Yeah. And so here's some examples of what I think where artificial intelligence is going to start showing up in real estate. Lead generation for sure is an easy one. Property management is something that we're working on to try and understand, like, can we use artificial intelligence to do what a normal property manager would do, but do it in an automated fashion. Predictive analytics for property valuations, something, for example, that like Zillow works on. AI is same idea that Zillow would be working on. Task management is something that we're working on, trying to help realtors complete tasks that need to be done, but doesn't necessarily need to be done by them.
Like marketing automation.
Yeah. Like when you get a new listing, there's like 50 things you have to do. One is pound the sign into the front lawn, right? You don't need to call the guy to do it. It just needs to be done. Your system can do it. Somebody needs to do it. Notify that person to pound the sign. And I think the AI chatbot can do that. Same with marketing that listing. There's a lot of things that need to be done can be automated. Of course, open house facilitation, follow-ups from open houses, reminders to people that said they're coming to open house to remind them. Social media management, another easy one. And then, of course, lead follow-ups, so just following up with people that have inquired about specific properties, can all be handled with a tool. And so before we go into my product, I'll just open this tab here. So here's a couple examples of some chatbots. Can you see the screen?
I can see the helicopter thing.
Okay, yeah. So that's the Dubai thing. I just want to show you guys. That's what it looks like. This is like actually live. It's kind of creepy that it's fully battery powered. But takes two people. This is another example of chatbot. This kid a 19-year-old kid in New York made a chatbot so you could dispute your parking tickets in New York, and then he did London. And you just message the chatbot, you got a parking ticket, it'll say what date, when, why are you disputing it, why do you think it's not a correct ticket or whatever. And then it would automatically deal with the city and file the dispute and do all the stuff. And he overturned 160,000 tickets, about $4 million worth of fines. Yeah. So it's great for the consumer, not so good if you're the city and you acquire that revenue.
Oh my God, that kid's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then this is another one. Some other guy built a chatbot that lets you sue Equifax for up to $25,000 without a lawyer for them leaking all of our data all over the internet. Right? It's just, so they're everywhere. When I lived in Singapore, DBS is who we banked with. They have a Facebook Messenger bot that you can message your DBS bank through Messenger and have the guy or have the AI move money. So you can say, transfer money to Sarah, and it'll say, great, how much? Or it'll say which Sarah, if there's two Sarahs in your contacts. And you can say, oh, it's this one, and say how much and from which account. And you just quickly, you're literally, it's like texting back and forth, and then it handles it and moves the money. No app, no logging in, no nothing. So they're kind of happening in every industry. This is one that'll kind of harass you into losing weight. But it kind of, it can go on and on and on. If you're paying attention to what is out there, you'll start to see them across all industries. So maybe what we can do, how many people are on here? It says there's 24. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you a phone number. So here's the scenario. I'm going to let you play with my real estate chatbot, so you can kind of see how it feels. The scenario is you're all the consumers, right? You got your consumer hat on. You're interested in a property in Vancouver. I'm a fake realtor in Vancouver. I have 3 listings, and maybe you're interested in the Willow Street one. So there's the phone number. There's the house, one of my fake listings. It's on Willow Street. But if you send a text message to this phone number, 604-243-4891, send a text to that, and I'll show you live what happens in the background. For this to work, you guys need to participate.
I'll text right now just so.
Okay, I just got a message saying my internet connection is unstable. So 604-243-4891, I can hear somebody's in it. So this is what it looks like in the background for me.
4891?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've integrated with a in this case, we've integrated to Intercom. And I know, Danny, you talk about Intercom.
Yep.
So this is not my product. This is another CRM system. We just tied the AI into it to make it easier for realtors to have live chat. And so I can see there's 10 of you so far that have started talking to my AI. So remember, there's 10 of you now there's 12, 14 of you having conversations with the AI about my listings. So you can see this is somebody here saying, see photos, and then the AI obviously responses, well, which listing? And if you start, you can basically text it whatever you like, whatever you would normally want to ask about a property. So this person has said Drake Street. This is great. Let's talk about Drake Street. I'm happy to send that over. What's the email?
See, that's so cool how the consumer just uses plain language like see photos, and then the AI just automatically knew like how to respond. Whereas before, when I used instant chat, it would be like some sort of canned response that didn't even answer what the person just said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you'll start to I'm assuming some of you are going to throw some curveballs at it. That's fine, as expected.
Keep it PG. This is recorded, people.
Yeah, you'd be shocked what some people do when they're playing, like testing it. But you can see here, this is Robert at GTA Property Search. He just stuck his email in. So the system will now email him a copy of the photo. I think he asked for a photo or a floor plan. So it'll email it to him. And it BCCs me on it so that you can see what's happening.
So they all just texted you from their cell phone. The agent gets that phone number later after the conversation's done, or when does the agent know?
Yes, they get it. They get the phone number as part of the lead being generated.
Yeah.
So you see this guy here says, how many bedrooms does it have? Does the home have? And the AI's, in this case, my AI's name is Jen. She says, which listing? And he said Willow Street. And Jen says, okay, I'll base it on 3520 Willow. There's 6 bedrooms, 3 up, 3 down, plus 1 den. And then they said, can you send the photos? Sure. Send it over.
Man, this is so powerful. And all the people on the webinar, remember, you guys are going to get this for free. We're going to create a free bot. You just have to name it. You know what I think a good name is? Willow. You might want to name it Willow. Anyways, name it whatever you want. At the end of this webinar, we'll pull up all the information so you guys each get your own version of it. And yeah, this is really powerful, man.
Yeah. And so you can kind of see, so this one here, whoever said, see the differences. Here's a good example. So somebody said, if you ask a very direct question, like, can I see the photos or what's the price or something? It skips its own intro. This person just said, hi. So trying to be conversational, it responds back saying, hi, I'm Jen, I'm Steve Jagger's AI. I'm here to answer questions about Steve's homes for sale. And it's doing that because the person just said what's called small talk. It just said, hi. If it was a more direct question, the system will move to try and, because people they want response quickly. They don't want to screw around, so it moves to give them the answer to their question as quickly as they can.
Does it work? So it's worked based on texting. What if the consumer's on the website?
So that's a good question. So this is through SMS, which one thing I'd like to point out is all of you are now interacting with my product right now without having to do anything. No app to download, no nothing. I don't know how old you all are, but you're probably all different genders, all different ages, and it works for everybody. It's, I think, one of the beautiful things about this. If you were on a, let's open up an incognito window and go to Marty. Can you still see this, Marty Holmes?
Yes, I can. I was
Okay.
muted, Herman.
So this is a realtor in Vancouver's website, right?
Yeah.
Just a normal website. But his chat button here is from Intercom. So if I wanted to, chat, I just say hi, and he named his AI Buffy, and Buffy, Buffy will respond about whatever Marty's listings. In this case, he's got, I don't know how many he's got, 3 or 4, right?
Yeah.
And so it's
cool. That's awesome that it works on. So the power of this is that it works directly on the web, but you can start using it in your direct mail, your newspaper ads, your outdoor marketing. So you can really bring your outdoor creative alive. I would definitely, for sure, 100%. My first thing would be to order up a sign writer for every listing that had a call to action. Any marketing that I had would include a call to action to text for a live chat about the property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you see this one, who's this? This is I don't know the last name. I don't know. Derek? So you can see, I don't know if you can still see my screen here. I'm going to move the camera over to the other side. So you can see what Intercom's done because I got the chatbot got his email address. It's tracked down his Twitter account. So I click on this, there's Derek. All right, this is his Twitter account because it's associated with that same email address, and it's also sucked in his profile photo, his headshot.
Oh, what?
Yeah. So like if we find another one, who's this? My Toronto Homes. You can see here's Twitter. There's the LinkedIn that's associated with that email address. So you can really start to get a pretty good handle on who these people are that are inquiring about your properties. Your listing, right? And so in this case, for her, I got her Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn profiles. Here's sorry, this isn't showing your Facebook page, but yeah, that's how it works.
Great business. Send her a referral.
Yeah.
And what's cool about Facebook profile is that it, for a lot of people, it'll show their phone number and everything. Not that I want you to show her phone number, but for you as an agent looking at the leads.
Yeah. And so you can kind of see there's, like I said, there's 24 of you guys talking to it. Let me see if I can find somebody. Here we go. Somebody's not giving it a name. Yeah, this one. So he said, by the way, what's your name? He's responded. Derek responded with an old or something different from previously in the conversation. So the AI is just, okay, I'll call you Property King, and it moves on.
Yeah. Derek is now called the Property King. # Property King, Derek.
See, this is another good example. When is the open house? The AI says, which listing? Whoever this is said just Willow, just the word Willow, and the AI caught it, which is kind of impressive because Willow is also a real word. But it's like it's smart enough in many cases. Like we had a problem once when there was a listing on High School Street, and there was some confusion because people were saying high school and it was answering with school answers. Oh. Generally, most addresses don't have like names like that.
Well, the cool thing is, like, as more and more agents get onto this program, collectively, the robot learns amongst all of the bots.
Yes, that's
right?
the beauty. That's the beauty about it. Yeah. So if we find an issue, let's see if I can find an issue with somebody.
There's a question: is it compatible with Zapier?
Not yet, but it will be.
Cool. That'll be huge.
Yeah. So that's sort of building on that question. Is thus far I've built this thing in the way that I want it, but that's not like to get it to this point. I think is fine. My goal is to switch gears, which is why we're now ready to give it away to realtors, and I want you guys to tell me what you want, because I have a general idea of what realtors, but I'm not a realtor, right? So I want to hear about whoever's asking about the Zapier thing or Zapier thing,
why he would want it.
Yeah, why? What's the purpose? So we can not just do the integration, but I want to know, like, we like to do this 5 whys thing of like, well, why do you want to do that? And he'll say, oh, I want to do it because I'm trying to integrate into this. And we would say, well, why? And like what we're trying to do is get to the end purpose, because maybe there's a better way for us to do it than going through Zapier, or we can do it direct, or who knows. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's what we want, is that feedback.
Well, people on the webinar, if they don't know what Zapier is, it's basically a third-party product that takes data out of one program and puts it into another.
Yeah.
Go to my YouTube channel and search the word Zapier, and you'll see 3 videos on it. I'll show you how to use it and where to get a link.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, see, here's an example where we're having trouble with. So it says, here we go, what's your name? And is it Ariel?
Yeah.
And so we had this earlier yesterday, same problem. The system doesn't think that's a real name. And we had a lady it was obviously her real name, but it was just more of a unique name. And the AI was basically trying to outsmart itself. And so why that's built this way is to stop somebody. If somebody just puts in John Smith or Elvis Presley or whatever, we're trying to push back saying we kind of know that's not a real name. Yeah. But sometimes, and this is an example of that, where it's not working as designed. And so we literally have an active ticket open on this to try and almost kind of back it off a little bit to loosen up the requirements around names, because it's obviously her real name, and it's saying it's not a real name, which is not helpful.
Maybe it could do like a choose your own adventure. If it says, oh, I don't think that's a real name, but what if I call you John Smith? is that okay? And then she could say yes or no. And then if she says no, then it loosens up.
Yeah, it's easier for now. She's probably just gonna have to say anything. Just put, Frank or Susan or whatever.
Question about, is it connected to IDX? So say an agent has a website and if they got like IDX listings on their website, is it just the agent's listings?
Yes. So so you don't have to do anything really. If we set you up with an AI, we take the listing off of your website. It's only your listings. We don't do crossing listings, office listings, handshake listings, none of that stuff for now. We're just having it talk and answer questions about your personal listings. You don't have to, you don't have to put them into the system. We do that for you. So you'll get a text message when the system sort of ingested a new listing. It'll notify you that, hey, hey, Danny, I just learned about 123 Main Street. Here's all the stuff that I know. Like I'm ready to go. I can answer questions about your new listing.
All right, so there's a question about IDX and it working for Agent Locator. So then in this case, I wouldn't use it for, if I had a generic page talking about townhouses, doing Google pay-per-click, driving them to my website about townhouses, then I maybe not use this product. I would use it 100% of the time when marketing anything to do with your own specific listing. Until in the future, it could potentially work with all, but at the moment, I would just focus to your own listings.
Yeah, and we've built some functionality around buyer's agents. So if there's many agents that don't have any listings at all, and so the system works for more of a lead capture, where it'll just gather the person's information and then notify the realtor that John Smith at this phone number, this email address is interested in this type of property, meant to be kind of a buyer's lead. But yeah, the plan is to keep expanding that depending on what sort of the demand is from realtors. Which what should we be worrying about? What should we be building for?
Here's a good question. What happens if a consumer calls the number?
Right now, it'll do nothing. Shortly, I think by tomorrow, we're rolling out the new feature that it'll say, thanks. This is a text-only line. Please call Steve's office phone number at whatever it is.
Okay. One of the people said that they asked a question, they didn't get a good response. I don't know. Over on the left, I forget the name now. Katrina, go down. It's none of the ones I see. I don't know.
Or whoever that person is, just say something to your AI again. It'll move it to the top. Is it this one? Andrea? Is that who I'm talking to? Or is that who we're talking about?
No. Unless they use a different name.
That happens.
Actually, tell the chat bot you're the one on the webinar having issues. Then we'll see it.
Yeah, it'll notify me of that for sure. Because it's
cool, but for the most part, oh, yes.
It's not her.
Okay. This is so cool.
Pudding time. Is this it? Sure, this house. What's your name? Put their name in as Pudding Tame. See, it's funny that works.
Yeah. Thumbs up, Pudding Tame.
Send me the full details of this house. Let's talk. I don't know if this is the one. This one looks fine.
Yeah.
Oh, it's me. They said it's me. So what was the problem they're having? Everything in this chat looks normal. Except for the name, accepting the name. But it said, send me the full details of this home. And then it responds basically saying, here's the address and the price. And then it lets you choose, because the full details, like maybe it could push with the feature sheet. If you ask for a feature sheet, it'll send you one. But generally, I think that's an okay chat. I want an MLS detail. See, it's doing it again. I want an MLS detail, and it's giving you what we've defined as details. If you ask it for a feature sheet, it'll send you a feature sheet if this listing has one.
Oh, maybe a backup plan when it says choices could say a direct link to the listing.
Yeah, so we're trying not to do that just because we're trying to keep them in the chat. And that's why we email it and not push it out to the website, because many of the websites aren't mobile friendly or whatever.
Yeah. But man, from what I've seen, for the most part, this is doing the job. There's going to be glitches here and there. And like even some people, especially if they don't like if English isn't their first language and they have a hard time just spelling and typing, you know, there's going to be weird stuff happening.
Yeah.
But man, this is really, really powerful.
For whoever this is, Andrea, she's going through the becoming a lead. If you can keep doing that, we can show people what happens when if you trigger. What did she trigger to make this happen? Did you ask for the feature sheet? So she said yes, and now it's because she's asked enough questions, it's trying to push back and say, let me get some details from you. We have all, in my demo, we have all 7 questions in there just so people can see it. We can adjust if we want to. But if you keep going, Andrea, you'll see, like, the first question is, are you a realtor, yes or no? If you said yes, it only asks one more question, basically, what brokerage are you with? If you say no, it says, are you working with a realtor? How long have you been looking for a home? Are you pre-approved for a mortgage? Do you currently own or rent? I think there's one more, and that's it. And then you'll see what it does to me when you finish. See, there you go. She says rent. It says, thanks. Your initial question was, can I get a copy of the MLS? Sending the feature sheet to your email now. And then I just got this text message on my phone, and it shows up here as well. But it says, hi, Stephen. I've got a new lead to report from a conversation I just had. Sending the details now. They were asking about Willow Street. It was triggered because they asked for my number. And it's asking me if I'd like a reminder.
Oh man, anybody who does like half-page, full-page ads in the newspaper, it would be. You got to use this. Like, this would be amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And so, let me see if I can do. If I can.
Oh, there's a question about the phone number. Is the number used always a local number?
Yes. So we pick your number. So if you're a Toronto realtor, you get a Toronto number. If you're a Chicago realtor, you get a Chicago number. Yeah.
Dan, rephrase your question. Dan says he's interested in the buyer agent template, but I don't know what that means. Cool.
Let's see. So now that I'm on my phone, I don't know if you guys can see my phone, but I just said no reminder. So I don't need it to bother me tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. And it says, okay. And now it's going to hit me with the next one. So there's a handful that are kind of backed up because of you guys doing this.
Oh, tell them future thought about like how the AI is going to like message the agent and say, hey, congratulations, you got a new listing. And then the agents can do certain things in the future. Not yet, but like when we were walking last night from the restaurant, you were telling me some cool stuff.
Yeah. So let me see if I can get into the menu myself. So as the admin or the human owner of my bot, my Jen in this case, yeah, there you go. See, you can see on my screen, I texted her menu and she says, what would you like to do? Right, consumers won't do this and it wouldn't work for you anyways, but it gives me, because it knows I'm her owner. Owner's probably the wrong word, but yeah. It gives me these choices. So this is kind of like back end things. If I can pair her with my Facebook page, so you can have your chatbot living in your business Facebook page, responding to your messages, not your wall, but if somebody directly messages your business Facebook page, it can deal with that. You can notify that you've got a new listing. You can change the price of the listing.
You can do Facebook ads, driving ads directly to the Facebook Messenger and the business page. I wonder if that would work then.
Yeah, then it can respond.
What? Oh man, we'll do a test like next week with an agent already on this program.
Yeah,
I'll do that.
And then you can add other team members. This is a new feature that came out while I was here in Guelph. Because there's some agents that are partners, or they already have a human assistant. And before there was just one person owned one bot. There was no way to, have more people managing it. So now you can add like another realtor if you've got a partner realtor, or if you've got a human assistant, you can make them all admins. And then we added this as well this week, make a suggestion, which is where I want people to tell me, like, what should we do? And if enough people ask the same question, that's basically what we're going to do. And then this is what we're going to expand to. Soon it'll be, you can order the for sale sign and get it pounded in. You're going to be able to order marketing enhancements where we'll help you, market the listing, coordinating photography for listings, like that kind of stuff is where we want to go with truly making it an actual assistant to you and helping you with the business. I can see some of you are still texting away.
Oh, I'm muted. Shoot, I didn't know I was muted. The one that was having issues, she said she asked for a record of the feature sheet, and it said no record of feature sheet.
What's a record of a feature sheet? That was this Andrea one, I thought.
No, that was the one.
Feature sheet now.
No, it was the one that was having issues.
This is the one I thought, because she said it's me somewhere in here.
Oh.
Either way, when we go through, so the other thing that's neat is we've built the system to give us a confidence rating on every question and answer. So if the confidence rating is less than 90% confident that it's correct, we get, like me and my team get notified, and we literally look at what was the question the person asked, what was the answer that the chatbot or the AI responded with. And if it was like a stupid question and the guy's just throwing curveballs at it, we maybe don't totally care. And if it's something that was like, oh, that was a really good question that it screwed up, we work to fix it, and we fix it and we roll it out, and it affects all, everybody on the platform. An example of that would be someone was asking how close the airport was, and the bot didn't handle it well. It just didn't, we hadn't done any training around airports. And I thought that was like, that's a reasonable question that a consumer would ask. So now if you ask, is the airport nearby? It'll handle that. And then we expanded it to handle, like, is there parks nearby? Is there shopping nearby? Recreation nearby? Like that kind of nearby stuff. It pulls the longitude and latitude of the property and ties it into Google Maps and sends them the details.
When the agent gets these leads, like, they'll have a history of the chat, so you can follow up and do your own quality control. So if there are any issues, then you would follow up. You're going to talk to the people anyways and be like, oh yeah, I noticed you asked for the feature sheet and it had a little bit of a glitch. I'll certainly get that out to you. So like, the AI is not to replace your job anyways. It's just to kind of initiate conversation. And I mean, it was the pudding tang one that was having an issue with the feature sheet.
Pudding tang. Can I get a feature sheet? There is no record of a feature sheet. So maybe this listing doesn't have one.
Yeah, so that example just didn't have one yet.
Yeah, this is 4004. This is my house. I didn't have a feature sheet for it. This is my, yeah.
But you as the agent, you would have your own feature sheet, so it wouldn't have been an issue. And she asks the question, can you adjust the responses of the bot? I don't know if she could. You guys would be able to
We can. Right now, we've only got one structure. We're going to have to, we've got, examples of that where, like in Vancouver, you talk about strata corporations. And I think in Toronto, you talk about homeowners associations, I think. But it's the same thing, just different words for the same thing. We've come across a handful of examples of that people in like Florida say something that's totally different than somebody in California. But they mean the same thing. It's just different words. So we are going to build for that. The other thing we're going to be, we've already started dabbling. If anybody's Chinese or has Chinese characters on their phone, text a Chinese character to my AI and you'll see what she does. But soon we want to have her understanding a lot more in other languages.
She gives good feedback about that. You know how it says there's no record of the feature sheet. Basically, it'd be cool if it said in brackets underneath, would you like to request a live response from our agent because they'll do a better job.
Yeah,
obviously, it's true. And
it should be. We could have it do something like we've notified the realtor that you've asked for something that wasn't available.
Yeah.
Definitely could do that. And there's many triggers like that. There just isn't for the feature sheet one, but it's a good idea.
Yeah, cool. Good feedback. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
you should pull up on the screen how the people get it.
Oh yeah. So before I do that, one thing to be clear: this tool that I'm in, I mentioned it before. This is Intercom. This is not our product. If you want Intercom, it's a paid product. You buy it, and then that's what gives you live chat. You don't need this product to run to have our tool.
So the tool would work totally free if you're just using the text version. But if you want the interactive chatbot on your website, then you'll need Intercom, which isn't even affiliated with these guys. Head on over to Intercom. I want to show you something, and that everybody on the webinar.
Sorry.
You're already logged in.
Go to intercom.com.
Yeah, go there. I hope it doesn't log you in.
No, I don't think it will.
Okay, cool. Scroll down to the very bottom. And then it says, oh, Intercom for early stage. Click that one there. Okay, so anybody who's a brand new agent, brand new team, brand new brokerage, you fill in here and you get either like a discount or a year for free or something. It says get all product. Oh, $49 a month. So they changed it. You get it for $49 a month, but you get all of the products in one for a really package deal, which is cool.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you didn't know that.
I did not.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so that's if people want it live on their website, they have to go to Intercom. But if you just want the chat regardless, this is what you do.
Yeah, so just send me an email. You can see my email here is sjagger at imhr.io.
And let them know that Danny Wood sent you, or Brokerage Nation, or either of those two, because we're trying to track some traction on this. And I mean, you guys are getting it for free. It's not like it's any difference to you. So just let them know you watched this video or you're on the webinar. Even if you're watching this video like in a couple of months, just Danny Wood, sent me over, get the chat bot, and then fill in the form below. What you need to send them is your first name, your email address, your cell phone number, what brokerage you work at, and you have to pick a name for your AI bot. And I know it's a big dilemma. It's going to be a hard decision, but you got to pick one and be happy with it. And don't make it something silly. Like make it a real person's first
name. Yeah. And don't choose your own. I don't know why we had a handful of people send it in and their name is Steve and they want their bot to be named Steve. I'm like, it's dumb.
Yeah. It's confusing.
Yeah.
The consumer's confused.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, send me the email as they come in. We'll get you set up. I also need to know where to find your listings. So your website, just a link as to where your listings are. If it's realtor.com, realtor.ca, your website, your listings specifically, not your brokerage's listings, not other people's listings. It's got to be your specific listings for now.
And I guess they can change that in the future because I'm assuming most of them will send you the wrong thing. Like they'll just send you their homepage or something.
Yeah, and if we can't find it when we set them up, I'll email them back.
Okay, cool.
It should be a very simple, like an example is Marty. This is a good example, is martyhomes.com. If you click on his active listings, he's going to have his four listings there.
Yeah.
And that's it. Right there's 4 listings. They're all his. Makes it very easy for us to have the tool bring in the data.
So it just like checks that and scrapes it?
Partially, and then partially human.
Right on. Man, this is so cool. I'm glad we did it. Oh, there's another question. Hold on.
Sure.
Does this work for brokerages? Does it work for brokerages? Like all the agents?
Been asked that. Not yet. We'll probably have something for brokerages at some point. At this moment, we would set up an individual one for every agent. So if you've got 200 agents in there, we would set up 200 bots.
Oh, that's probably more powerful because the agents would be doing their own marketing anyways.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what we want. Yeah. Because they're marketing their phone number.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right.
We haven't built it for brokerages because it's not smart right now. If the lead comes in, it knows to pass the lead to the bot owner. If it's a brokerage and it's a single listing, it doesn't know, well, whose listing is it?
What if the brokerage assigned like their marketing admin or something as like the bot owner, and then that person would be the middle, like the
possible. Not our main move at this second.
Yeah. No, just
something that's not coming. Yeah.
Cool. That's a good question, and that would be awesome if it did. So no, I would be all over this product, man. I hope these guys actually sign up with you and get rolling. And in fact, like there's a cost for you, not even the agent. So every agent who signs up, there's like a hard cost for you because you got to pay for the phone lines and everything.
Yeah, the phone numbers cost money every month, even if you do nothing. And if you get one and you do nothing for too long, we'll notify you that you got to do something or shut down.
Right. Okay. Cool. Okay, so we'll leave your info up. I'll get this recorded, put it in the group coaching webinar and everything. So I'm glad everybody was able to join. All the group coaching members are going to get this for free for the time being and for the foreseeable future anyways. I don't know how long he's going to be able to offer it for free up, but you guys got good timing anyways to get involved. So if there's no more questions, Stephen, I want to thank you for being with us live. And I'll see how the recording went. And if it doesn't go, then maybe we can just like do our own little powwow together. But hopefully not. Hopefully it recorded okay.
Okay, yeah, just ping me. I'm going to be sitting here.
Yeah, right on. Okay. Bye, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Laura. I'll just stick around if there's still questions. No, I don't. Can you still hear me? I'm assuming you can. Yeah, you can. Agile. I do not have a step-by-step guide to it yet, but I am going to do a webinar on it. I've reached out to them a number of times to like be a guest with me so that I could have somebody on their team roll through with it with us, but I haven't got an actual response. So I'll end up probably just doing something on my own. But yeah, we are going to do something, but nothing yet. Cool, then. Yeah, it'll work for buyer lead gen for sure. It'll also be a really cool listing presentation tool. Savio, you need his info. Hold on, I'll recopy it. Oh shoot, it's gone.
It's in the chat. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
here we go. Yeah, I got it. I want to send it to everyone. All right, there we go. Cool, Savio. Right on. All right. Well, I guess if there's any more questions, you guys all got my cell and email, so reach out to me. And everyone, thank you very much. Bye.
Hey, if you want to close more real estate transactions, get more buyer leads, and get more seller leads, click this button right here. It'll take you to our real estate group coaching page. Also, if you like this video and want more, you can subscribe by pressing this, or you can check out some of my past videos here. Enjoy!